At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about, how it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
And if you're not talking, please mute yourself so we don't have noise in the background. Okay, wow. That was really, really quick. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. My great panelists today. Well, today, I'm so happy that I have a friend of mine that I've known her for so many years, and she's such a lovely lady, encourages, pushes, and she's actually in Kenya. So her name is Funke. I'm sure you can, the name Funke, you're thinking, that's not Kenyan, but she is actually Kenyan, that all of us are Kenyans. So we have Funke all the way from Kenya. And then we have Dr. Lucy all the way from America, Texas. I always say Obama's land. And then we also have Sheila Shabet, all the way from the UK. I don't know if I spelled her name properly, but Shabet, Sheila. And then we also have Anthony Thuo as well, representing KDA today, Kenya Diaspora Alliance in the UK. And Dr. Lucy actually represents One Voice as well, One Voice Consortium in America. And then we also have Ken Ouko. Actually, Ken Ouko is going to be our governor soon in Nairobi. So we need to vote for him because we need a diaspora in there. We need change. We need to see change. Okay. And then we also have Weldon. Of course, Weldon is a representative of Kifua, Kenya in France, Umbrella Association. And then we also have Bernard Kavu with us, and Congress People Association.
Democracy.
Oh, democracy. Okay, Congress People Democracy Party. So these are people who want to see change. Their diaspora want to see change in Kenya, and we are all the way following them. So now I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves further, because I don't want to leave anything behind, because it's very important to give honor where honor is due. So I'm just going to start with my Funke again, all the way from Kenya. So Funke, if you can please unmute yourself and introduce yourself. Thank you, Funke.
My name is Funke Michaels, and as Lydia has said, I've lived in Nairobi now for about 6 years. I moved here after my Harvard degree. I chose to live here because I saw a lot of promise and what was going to come in the future of the city. When you say the diaspora returns, the diaspora of Kenya does not just return. We return with people from other countries, people from other cultures who are our family members. So I've returned as the wife of Michael Miano and the mother of 7 Kenyans in this house. And so it's been a mixed blessing. We're grateful to be back home. It's beautiful here. The culture is amazing, but there's a lot that still needs to be done for our people so that home can be as interesting or even more interesting than it was while we were out in the diaspora. So that's it in a nutshell.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Funke. Okay, and then we also have Dr. Lucy. Please, if you can introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Hello, our viewers. Thank you so much, Ms. Lydia, for inviting us on this panel. My name is Dr. Lucy Mackenzie. I am the chair and a co-founder, along with 7 other women, of Kenya North America Diaspora Circle. Also in healthcare. I'm a healthcare administrator, have been in healthcare for almost 30 years. And today I'm representing also being a member of the One Voice Consortium and Foundation as a new member to that organization. It is an umbrella organization with incorporates other diaspora organizations in the US and also in other countries. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lucy. Okay, so I'm going to Sheila. Please, Sheila.
Hello, people. Hello. It's an honor to be here today. I am Sheila Chebet. Yes, you pronounced it rightly. Yes. So we say Chebet, not Chebet, but
okay.
We respond to all of them. I'm Sheila Chebet. I am a Kenyan, currently residing in the UK, but Kenya is my home. Whenever I'm saying I'm home, I mean Kenya. I've never meant anywhere else to be home. Kenya is my home. Kenya is where my heart is. I am a life coach. I have my own life coaching school. We are co-founders with the incoming governor, who is in this chat as well. So we run a life coaching school. And the reason why we came with it is because we realized that as a Kenyan people, we are really suffering under so much trauma. We have traumas that get re-traumatizing themselves, some of them generational traumas, some of them just traumas from living in this capitalistic world we live in. And it's affecting all facets of our life. So we started this life coaching school just to heal our people. So I'm here today as a life coach and as a Kenyan. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Sheila. Okay, so let's go to Anthony. Anthony, please.
Okay, thank you very much, viewers. My name is Anthony Thuo, currently residing in UK, and I'm also currently doing a degree in London Metropolitan University, Community and Development and Leadership. That's the course that I'm doing. And beyond that, also, I'm also the KDA organizing secretary. And beyond that, I'm also looking forward to share more the light of what we can do to support our backcountry motherland, Kenya. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anthony.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'll go to our governor, our next governor, Ken Ouko, please.
Thank you, Lydia. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Kenneth Kaunda Joe, also Ken Ouko in short. I'm the incoming governor of Nairobi. Very soon, I will be liaising with the diaspora groups to make things better for us. Besides politics, of course, I am a finance coach, which is something I'm focusing so much on now. Financial literacy, targeted towards Black people especially. And I'm also an international lawyer with an international law degree in economics. So I wear different hats, but right now I'm wearing the hat of a diasporan who want to see things get better back at home. I have been involved in different initiatives besides just financial literacy. Sheila mentioned that we run a life coaching school known as Gene Coaching School. And I'm also the founder of Alliance of Diasporans in Finland before I moved to the UK. So I've done this quite extensively since I moved to Europe. I'm very interested in the development of diasporans and what we have to do back at home. Thank you so much, and I look forward to the discussion.
Okay, thank you very much, Ken. And I'll go to Bernard Kavu, please, the chair of CPD as well. Sorry, Bernard, we can't hear you. You need to unmute yourself.
Sure. Okay, sorry Thank you very much, Lydia, for inviting me to this panel. My name is Bernard Kavu, residing in the UK, and I'm an academic by profession, so I'm a lecturer in the UK, and apart from that, I'm a very politically active personality, and I belong to a group of like-minded individuals who've decided that it's time for diaspora to be heard in our country, Kenya. Because of we've got so many diaspora groups. I belong to, I don't know, maybe 20, 40 of them. But we've realized that a time has come where we need to participate in the governance of our country. And because of that, now we are in the process of establishing our own political party that will be part of our voice to make sure that we are not just shouting out of the fence, but we are inside. So the time has come for us to create our own party, and Congress for People's Democracy is doing just that. We already have membership coming in. Thank you. I'll talk more about this as we continue.
All right. Thank you very much, Bernard. Okay, so I'll go to last but not least, Weldon, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Weldon Courier. I have been in France for the last 9 years. And I have been working here as in the military for the last 9 years. And currently, I am also doing a master's in international business because I'm looking forward to going into private sector. Recently, for the last 2 months, I was elected by the Kenyans in France to represent them as the president in the Kenyans in France Umbrella Association, which is just basically 2 months old. And what we are doing now is basically structures to make sure the institution stays and live and is sustainable. So I'm happy to be here today, and I've been here since the beginning with Lydia, and I'm most importantly looking forward to hear from the new members who have joined us today. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, as we are in the mood of celebrating Christmas, I prepared a song to play, but as you all know, technology, wow, technology is so hard. So I don't even know how to deal with technology anymore. So I tried to put a nice Christmas song, but I couldn't. So I'll just say Merry Christmas, everybody. That was a nice song, by the way, you played, but I'm useless in this. Okay, thank you very much. So without further ado, we're just going to enter into our discussion today, the role of diaspora in the development of Kenya. But before that, and when we talk about diaspora, we're not just talking about Kenyans, even though I know our panelists are most of the time 90% Kenyans, but it's about Africa in general, because we're here for Africa, but it's Kenya first and then Africa, because that's where we come from. So you have to develop your home first before you can go and develop outside. So we're trying to develop our Kenya first. But as much as we try to develop, sometimes we meet with a lot of barriers that comes our way when we talk about diaspora in Kenya. And that's what we are always talking about, because we say we need a platform and we need a voice, and we need one voice. And that's where even one voice consortium comes in, because we need one voice. And we also have a document for Kenya diaspora policy that we've all read, and probably we're all familiar with it. So we're going to discuss the Kenya diaspora policy document as much as discussing the role of diaspora in the development of Kenya. And our viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. I cannot mention your names because there's so many of you right now already. So thank you very much for following us. We have some faithful followers who are always here with us every Saturday and Sunday, always commenting, always bringing points, liking, sharing. Thank you very much. Leadership in Kenya is an inheritance business. How can we change it? That's a good one. Somebody have just asked that question and we've not even started yet. And as we continue, I'll let Weldon soak into that question, because I would like him to answer that later. Leadership in Kenya is an inheritance business. How can we change it? I'll give that to Weldon, but not now. So thank you very much for our viewers. Like we always say, please share, like, and comment. And also our panelists, if you can, always go and try and answer to the people on Facebook, so that we are all together in one forum, not Zoom and Facebook, but we are all together under one umbrella. And also in saying that, panelists, I've also tagged every single one of you, so you can share it with your people as well, so they don't miss out. Thank you very much. So I'll start with Weldon, because Weldon is very familiar with Kenya diaspora policy document, and is also familiar with the role of diaspora in the development of Kenya. So Weldon, please.
So it's been 2 sessions right now. We're talking about us as diasporians. What should be our role, or what is our role in the Kenyan development? And we have seen that we have always, most of the time, taken the backside and watched things and as it happens back home. One of the things that we are afraid as diaspora to take into, or to dig deep into, is politics. And I want I want to appreciate what Ken, the incoming governor of Nairobi, and I will support you, my brother, because you are one of the diaspora brains that we need to go home and do something. We need to start taking back the brains that they used to say brain drain, you know. So we need to take the expertise back home now. And Ken is doing exactly that, because we have seen that in Nairobi, as it is, Nairobi is the hub of the entire Africa in everything. We have all the UN offices based there, and everything is strategically in Nairobi. So we need the diaspora to be involved in such kind of things. That is our role. Those are some of the things that we need to play in. So when we talk about the role, this is one of the things. Political. We need to be courageous enough and engage politically and support each other. We understand that politics in Kenya is divided into tribal lines. But now, because we have been out here and we have seen most of the things, how institutions are strengthened so that people here doesn't even feel the politics because the institutions are working, we need to take this experience home. We need to have people who can change our systems. We cannot continue the way it is at the moment, because as you can see how it's happening, everything is definitely, you can predict what will happen in 2022. It's politics based on tribal lines. So we need the diaspora who have gone out to come in. So when we talk about other things are economical, because one of the pillars, even in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they have identified that diaspora is a diplomacy, is a Kenya's pillars diplomacy. Okay, it's one of the 5 pillars in diplomacy in Kenya as the diaspora. And we know that we always remit money, a lot of it. We have even surpassed agriculture in general in terms of foreign exchange. We have even passed that. So this economical factor should make them really respect us and listen to us. We should be able to be a force that we can even bring the two, if we want to make about issues about BBI, for example, we should not be afraid to talk about it. If we want to address issues, the two principals should be able to listen to us. But I can tell you we have failed so far because no one is listening to us, not because we are not strong enough, but because we are not united. So if we really want to redefine the role of diaspora, we don't have to do it independently. We have to come together. Like if Ken says, I want to be the governor of Nairobi, he should be able to have a platform or a structure where the diaspora says, okay, we need to put our person here so that we can control. Because if we can send over 280 billion Kenya shillings into as remittance only, and now we should be able to have a voice. 280 billion. Come on. We need to even have our own governor to run Nairobi. As we said before, the Kenyans in diaspora, our estimation is over 4 million Kenyans in diaspora. Nairobi, it's almost the same. Population as the Kenyans in Nairobi. So we need to even have representation even in diaspora. So as Lydia mentioned about the Kenya diaspora policy document, last week we discussed about it in brief, and I think the government actually had seen that diaspora is the key. So they were trying to solve out the issues that will make the diasporans really engage fully in developing Kenya. And that's why they came up with the Kenya diaspora policy, and they had all these issues. They tried so much. They have a beautiful document, if you can read it. They even proposed that they are going to negotiate with financial institutions so that they can reduce the cost of remittance, so that when we send money, it's cheaper. They had all these things, but I can tell you they haven't done them. Since 2014, they haven't done anything. It's the same thing with our constitution. It is the best actually in the world, one of the best, but no one is doing anything about it. They haven't implemented some of the things. So we are good in making all these things. Kenyans are very intelligent people, but we need to implement. So the key factor is the diaspora. What actually is our role? And when are we supposed to come in and say enough is enough, let's do something? And what are those things that we are supposed to do? We need to discuss this right now and come up with the action plan, guys, so that we can do and stop talking. Thank you very much, Lydia, and I bring it back to you.
Thank you. I think the thing is action plan, just like you said, well done. action plan. We need to come up with an action plan. And talking about politics, it's not always a bad seed as to be a politician in Kenya. People always say, utapotea wewe, utapotea, ukiongea utapotea. So if we all stand with that fear, ukiongea utapotea, then that means we always stay in the same place. But that is why I'll come back again to one voice consortium. If we are under one voice, hakuna mtu atapotea, because we know that, okay, now we are here, we've sent Ken, and we know that if anything was to happen to Ken, we are here together as diaspora. We've sent Bernard, we are here as diaspora. If Bernard goes and anything happened, we are here. So what we are lacking is that one voice again. And if we want anything to be implemented, it has to come from one voice. But if Lucy is talking her language, Sheila is talking her language, well done, Funke, who are they going to listen to? But they only listen to us collectively if we are together. So thank you very much. And this is a forum. We started a forum, and in this forum, we have to make our voices heard, and we have to stand together as one as well. So thank you very much, people watching. There's so many questions already. And I know I gave one to Weldon, but I'll just allocate questions to everybody. I'm not going to answer them, but you are going to answer them, my panelists. So I'll move on to Funke as well. Funke, please. Thank you.
Hello, Lydia. Thank you again for inviting me. I couldn't help but agree with what Weldon has said. However, there is the aspect of policy that is the design of policy, and then there's an aspect of participation. And by that, I mean the people themselves who are being governed. Now, for everyone who has spoken here, there's a difference between your other panelists and myself, because the reality of my life as I sit here is what we're discussing today. I am a dreamer who left the land of big dreams, the United States of America, and willingly moved to Nairobi. I arrived here a month ahead of my husband, who people could not believe actually moved. So the reality of what we have experienced is what I'm sharing with you today. For us to make it work. Now, my degree, my second master's degree is in governance from the Harvard University Kennedy School of Government. So I would like to say I do know what I'm speaking about. If we create the best policies and design them in such a way that no other city or country in the world has seen such policies, yet we do not involve our people, then we have not achieved anything. So speaking about the diaspora is one thing. We are only within that umbrella because we have left our people at home and traveled far away to relate with other cultures. And so when we come back home, we must remember that we have returned. And it is in this returning that we find the pain point. Now, Bernard was saying that he's an academic, so am I. Right now, I teach in 3 different institutions across Kenya, one of which is the E4 Impact Foundation Accelerator, where we help entrepreneurs and new businesses to grow and to scale to levels where they can do business on the global market. Now, there are not many people who are doing this. And you find that a lot of people like me who have come with such talent and such knowledge are not being leveraged within the economic purview because we don't have a voice together. Now, if each one of us is doing their beat, and I'm telling you this because I teach for just about free. I have some client students who pay me with jam, some pay me with cassava, some bring bananas. It's what you make. Now, we are at this point because we're still building this economy. There will come a time where we're strong enough to have a better voice. But before that time comes, we must do the foundational work. That's why people like me have to be here. And for this to work, we need to sit down and look at our system and compare it to the systems we've come from and decide how to gather our people and put the momentum behind those leaders who will take us where we want to go. Now, people say, well, umepotea if you enter politics, but not necessarily true. Lydia, you and I can say a big hapana to that statement. We know together, or we knew Ken Okoth of blessed memory, and we knew what Ken was doing in Kibera. And because of Ken, I am in Kibera today, till tomorrow.
Yes.
Still very much home to me, as it is to you too, Lydia.
Yeah.
So if we do not talk to our people, gather them. And I always say, for every community that you show me here in Kenya, I can show you the same community in Nigeria where I was born. We are one and the same people. If we cannot begin to do business with one another, if we cannot begin to intermarry, have children with one another, without seeing the tribal lines, then we have not made any progress. So perhaps the beginning really is unity, not only in Kenya, but across Africa. Yeah. Thank you again, Lydia. Let me stop here for the moment.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Funke. Really powerful points. Thank you so much, Funke, for that. Okay, so our next guest is Dr. Lucy. Dr. Lucy, please, from One Voice.
Yes, I can't agree more with Weldon and Funke on their point. But also, I would like us to explore the fact that even as diasporans, there are things we have not done. Yes, we have this beautiful document called the Kenya Diaspora Policy that implemented in 2014. We are still talking about a policy that was written 6 years ago that is not in effect. But as diasporans, what is our responsibility? Is there a part of that policy that we have failed? Are we still shackled and tied up by our capacity to think of ourselves not as Kenyans, but as tribes? Do we still look at each other? We have KDA here, we have KNADS here, we have all other organizations represented on this forum. Do we look at each other as individual entities as opposed to seeing ourselves as being able to sit on the same table and come up with solutions that are not necessarily driven by where we originally come from? And I can say confidently that we have reached of that age now, where we are more mature to sit on the same platform, still represent our individual entities, but be able to speak as one voice. And under the One Voice, the global consortium, we have different leaders from different organizations who are sitting in the same table and discussing deliverables. But if each umbrella is only representing 100,000, yet we say we are 3 million, or according to the document that was published in 2014, estimated that we were 3 million Kenyans living outside of Kenya. So that's 6 years ago, 7 years ago. So clearly we must be obviously more than 3 million because there's young people who've been giving birth to new children. And I can't estimate that in 6 years we killed off 1 million Kenyans in the diaspora. So it would be unrealistic to expect that our numbers did not grow. But that growth does not translate to anything tangible that we can say, this is what the diaspora has done. Yet we are remitting over 300 billion shillings every year. In 2014, we were only remitting 113 billion. But we are currently way past the 300 billion. I want to say that the diaspora circles are part of that history where they are remitting this money. But the members of those diaspora circles are benefiting individually. Now, can you imagine if all diaspora organizations were actually targeted by the government, because that was the reason why they wrote this beautiful policy saying, we can do this, we've got this, we've got that, they can leverage on our money, yet we don't have one pilot project that has been done by the diaspora in 6 years. Something is wrong with us or with the government. So, but what is our role? Our role cannot just be that we sit back and read the document and say to them, hey, you all have not done anything. Okay, if they're not going to invite us to the table, we need to bring our chairs to the table and tell them, this is what we can do, and this is how we are going to do it. We're only going to leverage the diaspora if we are speaking as one voice, and not as individual entities or individual persons going to tell the government you have not done anything with the diaspora policy. So I'm going to leave it at that. Because there's more points and there's more time for us to give more situations. Thank you so much, Lydia.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Lucy. Well done, strong points there. Okay, so my next one, I'll go to my next panelist is Sheila. Sheila Chebet, please.
Hello, thank you very much for this opportunity. I have been following the chats from my fellow panelists and I agree with them. However, I want to bring in a life coaching angle to it. We are talking politics now. Dr. Lucy has spoken about how we need to speak with one voice and how the figures from the government, you know, like the 1 million missing and the numbers not going up, the questions there. Funke has spoken about us not necessarily doing the foundational work as we are right now, kind of like the participation involving the people from the document is very important. And Weldon spoke about the need for the diasporans to come home and play a role. So my take in all this is that there is the person. So clearly, as Kenyans in the diaspora right now, we are the people that we're speaking about here. We're not speaking about abstract people elsewhere. Even though we mention millions or thousands or hundreds of people, it is us. It's us here. So there is that question, what are we doing? Or do we even feel this is our problem? Do we feel we'll make a change? Do we feel there's a difference? And most important of it all, do we have the time, the energy, and the money to go through with this process? Because at the end of the day, before you take up the politics or before you take up national development or development of other things outside of yourself, you have to come from that security of you yourself, having developed yourself. And that is where we Kenyans in the diaspora suffer a little bit, actually Africans in general. We are always the ones struggling. We are struggling physically, we're struggling mentally, we're struggling emotionally, we're struggling socially, economically, any kind of struggle, we're there. So when you bring in this national problem and say, look, we need to come together and speak as one voice, it may be a luxury. It's like coming together and saying, hey, there's a party somewhere. I want everyone to contribute something to the party, but you're hungry. You don't have food. So it's a luxury that you cannot afford. So do we really have the time and the energy and the money to actually invest in this process? And that is whereby healing comes in. What has happened before? Where are we coming from? Like speaking as a Kenyan that's interested in the development of Kenya, there is also a lot of apathy because of the frustrations and the challenges and all these kind of issues that come from all sides as you try, especially when you try to change the government, when you try to change the status quo, when you try to empower the people, you get so many challenges. And the challenges don't just come from the government, even the people themselves. As Funke has said, involving the people. It is not as if the people are sitting there cooperative, waiting and saying, yes, we've been waiting for this. Sometimes it's the people that will be telling you, there is no change, don't involve us. As Dr. Lucy says, when we're coming at the table, are we coming as one voice? Sometimes that is a luxury that we cannot afford because we've never had the one voice. Or the one time we've tried to have the one voice, we have been beaten quite badly that we've decided that there's that distrust there. And sometimes when we go back to the foundation, we have to find out what exactly is ailing us. It is like getting ready for a marathon. If your leg is broken or your heart or something, even if you do what, you are not going to run that marathon. You are not going to perform well. So we ourselves, as we come to the table, even as we're having these discussions, are we safe and secure within ourselves? Do we believe in the process? Do we have the liberty and the luxury to actually go through with the process? Because as far as we're not safe and secure within ourselves, all this will be just talking shop. And that is whereby the need to go to the foundation, the need to go back to where the rain started beating us is very, very crucial. And again, as we're looking at going back, we also have to look at the system at which we're trying to change. Are we trying to fix a square peg in a round hole? Because as Africans, a lot of the times, we normally get focused on the symptoms. We don't go to the root cause of the problems because sometimes we think like if we go back, we're going to open a rabbit hole a big one that we just are not ready to do that. And we have all these forces around us that also don't want that rabbit hole to be opened, because that rabbit hole shakes the status quo. So whenever we have discussions like this, we have to remember that it is something bigger. And it is something that we need to have that energy and the fortitude and the strength. And this strength is not just physical strength, it's mental, emotional, and spiritual strength to go through this. And this starts at the basic unit where we are as a people, as a person, as an individual, where you're standing. Are things okay around you? Because if things are not okay around you, and that is your job you're doing, the diet you're eating, the sleep you're having at night, the friends you're keeping, the thoughts you have, if any of that is not okay, there is no way you can come to the table and speak as one voice. You'll be triggered. Little things will be doing and you'll be going all over. The distrust, the apathy, and the lethargy. If you meet any challenge, the lethargy, even sometimes just having discussions like this, the sitting down and listening will just be too much chatter, too much mental chatter that you can't cope with it. So I speak and I say there is need as a people, before we get out there and start doing these big, grand things at the individual level, we have to be safe and secure in ourselves, in the people that we are. And that is all I have to say for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you very, very much. All right, thank you. Okay, my next panelist is Anthony Thuo. So Anthony, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much, panelists. I'm new to this program, but I do believe also collectively any input will help us to make sure that we're able to go forward. Allow me to say a few things. One is about ourselves as diaspora. There have been kind of like a disconnect among ourselves from across the board, America, Europe, UK, all the other nationalities. Across the board, there's been a disconnect among ourselves. And this has made us to become more weak in doing resolutions into what you want to do. I remember some time back, I think it was 2015, when we had a very big conference at Windsor Golf Club, when the president was there. And the president was very happy to say, oh, diaspora is my 48th county, whereby he knows very well that the 48th county is really contributing a lot of GDP, a lot of money that's been helping the economy in Kenya. However, afterwards, I thought maybe we'll have an appointment to meet him in State House. So whereby we can be able maybe to narrate down some few issues and see maybe whether one of us, I remember that time we had someone called Robinson Getao and others. So I thought maybe one of them can be given a position in the county, in the national government, whereby at least we can have somebody inside the house, because this is the biggest problem we've been facing. Because at the end of the day, no one is let me give it as an example. No one is in the church. If no one is in the church, no one knows what's going on. Time for prayers, time for sacraments, time for anything. Nobody knows nothing. However, there's been that kind of a disconnect. So we need to team up together, as our dear sister have just finalized saying. We need to team up together maybe after Corona. All of us make a small meeting somewhere, sit down, narrate ourselves, agree the way forward. Then, because we're all from diaspora, then we can agree the way forward. Who can be in charge of this? Who can be in charge of this? Lay out kind of a structure, because I'm an organizing secretary. Come up with a structure. Then if a structure takes maybe, for example, for the next maybe 2 years, UK will be taking on board, for example, a brother from UK. Maybe next 2 years again, America, our dear sister there, Lucy, will be in charge. Kind of something like that, a structure that we can also come up with. Then after that structure, another thing I came to realize, because personally also, I've gone an extra mile, because 2012, 2013, I vied for a parliamentary seat in Kenya, in Rongai constituency in Nakuru County. And I was vying against the son of the president. I didn't know, family of Moi. And I managed to gain some votes and I became nominated on a TNA ticket. After that again, I also vied for Jubilee Party. I was number 3. All in all, I lose those 2 seats against the son of the president. But that morale did not defeat me or defeat my spirit from diaspora, because for me, I want to see that change back in Africa. However, I came to realize one thing when I was doing politics. Back home, they need civic education. So from diaspora, if we can come collectively and look away forward, how people back in Africa, they can have civic education. That would be the main key for us to win their souls, or for us to win to get there and work with them. However, I saw it so differently, because me from diaspora, I'm trying to give them my policies, my visions, what I want to do for them. While somebody else comes behind me, he got no vision, he got no policies, he just tell them, make a line. Women make a line, something small, small here. Men make a line on this side, young people make a line on this side, and that's it. And at the end of the day, he wins the votes. He takes over. Then they will not see that person again for the last 5 years. So you find the electoral themselves, they really suffer in that place because of the system that's been happening. So I'm more than happy to be part of this, and also more than happy to see what kind of a change we can do in the continent of African nations, especially in our country, Kenya, where we're coming from. So for me, there is a lot I want to see taking place, and I'm more than happy to be part of this. And I'm more than happy to see what kind of policies we can put in place, what kind of come up with those civic education awareness things we can come up with. Because at the end of the day, I also came to realize they really embrace organizations like World Vision, organizations like WaterAid. While they still have their MPs there, their local councillors there, everybody is still there, but they embrace them. So for me, I'm more than happy to team up together. Let's see what we can do. And I'm more than happy also to see how far we can go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Anthony.
Thank you.
Okay, so before I go to my next panelist, who is Ken Ouko, I'll say thank you very much for everybody who is watching. And I'll just ask you again, please, to share and comment. There's a lot of comments coming in. So because it's not really questions, it's just suggestions and comments. I'm not going to read them. I'm not going to read all of them, but I know one that stand out, and thank you, Sheila, for actually responding to that. The lady who said in diaspora, people think that they're better than others. And I think she was here in diaspora, and she's talking about, I wasted my time coming to the UK, no one talk. To all they do is judging. They think they're better than the people at home. And maybe that's why there's so much, sometimes there's disrespect with diaspora people when they go back home because of this lady, even though, yeah, it's one lady, but probably she's the one who have the guts to say it there. Maybe a lot of people have witnessed that. And I'm happy that Sheila have actually seen that and responded to her immediately. And I'll say thank you very much to all the people watching again on Facebook. Please share so that your friends can also come and learn something and contribute and comment as well. And my panelists as well, I really appreciate if you can also answer some of the questions or just add on to some of the comments, because a lot of them are really, really comments. But before I go to, I just wanted Weldon to respond to that, to the question I asked him before I go to Ken. Is that okay, Weldon?
Yes, it's okay to respond to the question, which is more political. And I want to use the example of Anthony, actually. Anthony mentioned about him against Raymond, right? Was it Raymond?
Yes,
yeah?
yes.
The Raymond Moy is the son of the former president. So you were actually against one I would say someone who is from a powerful family, and you managed to get some votes. So the issue that is being raised by one of the Kenyans was, before actually you mentioned about your experience, that why is it that this politics is like it's within some few families. It's like it's inheritance. But I think it's because of us, actually, the Kenyans. We need to change it. Like the way you move the Kenyans there to vote for you. We need to move from this. That's why diaspora comes in, from the experience that we have here, so that we can teach people. Because most of the people actually think that the Uhuru Kenyatta family, the Kenyatta family, the Moi family, the Raila family, that's what this person is talking about, inheritance. But I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true. It's people to actually have courage and campaign and go for positions. Because in 1997, there was one university student who went against a very powerful person called Jessire and won against him. Even the president Moi himself went there when it was one party powerful in Rift Valley. President Moi stood in Eldoret and said, Jessire Tosha, this is the person I want to work with. But the person who went around from family to family, house to house, won. He was just a university student. And that is the router we have now. This person, it gave him confidence. That's why when he speaks now, he knows, because that was the first confidence he had. When he won, he couldn't believe he could defeat someone who had been endorsed by actually Moi. You know, Moi factor during that time was unbeatable, you know, in the entire country. So, Anthony, you are an example today, and I appreciate your courage. And I think actually you answered that question from that person. You actually answered, when you spoke about your experience, that was your answer, to say that we should go out there and sell our policies. Like Funke said, it's all about policies. We need to sell our policies. Kenyans nowadays are no longer stupid. They are learning from social media and everything. So they know. So when you go there and you sell yourself, please, you sell yourself, you sell your policies, you connect with people. I can tell you, you can change this narrative where people think it's few families. It's not. It's no longer that way. Let's not keep it that way. Okay, and that's my answer. And back to you, Lydia.
Thank you very much. I know I have Funke with the hands up, but Funke, I'll let you come in after Ken. I've spoken. And then I also have a question for, this one is actually specific to Anthony, but you answer that later, Anthony. I just want to say it so that you can write it down and then answer it later. How do, oh, there's a question here for Anthony. Where is it? Okay. There's a disconnection between what is on the ground in Kenya and sometimes. How do we get government commitment to partner with diaspora to use their skills to help our people? So how do we get the government commitment to partner with diaspora to use their skills to help our people? Okay. And then Sheila, I'll also give you this. Can you tell us the hit and most of things you see during campaign? Okay, we get, okay, some of them are really, really just suggestions, really. Okay, so I'll go to Ken, please. And Funke, hold on to your hands. I know your hands are up.
Hello, everyone. I've listened to everyone, and I appreciate the views that everyone has given. Even though at some point I tend to believe that I disagree with certain views, I agree with some, I don't agree with all. And I would like to mention them so that in case they speak again, they are in a position to tell me or correct me based on my perception. I'm going to, first of all, focus more on what has been said and just give my perspective. And then I'll focus on the financial literacy part and how that can contribute to development in Kenya and in Africa as a whole. So, Funke, with all due respect, I tend to agree with you, but I also tend not to agree with you on certain issues. You mentioned that you are Harvard educated, which is an amazing feat and an amazing achievement. And we need to respect that and recognize it. But I think sometimes the mentality of diasporans with regards to the education we've achieved out here and the exposure we have achieved is what leads to poor development records back at home. If you go back to Kenya or to Africa with the knowledge and the belief that you know every single thing that you need to know, and just because we may be educated in a certain schools, because I'm also very well educated myself, I believe that this is one of the problems that Africa has faced with regards to aid, with regards to development, and with regards to diasporans. Because of the notion that sometimes when you go back, you want to tell them, yes, we know what you're talking about, and you want to force our ideas and our beliefs on them, and you want to make them look like they're so little down there, and we are these big saviors up here, and we're coming to help them. That's not the case. If we want to spur development back at home, we have to go back to that level of those people back at home. The reason why aid has not worked in Africa is because of the high pedestal that the Westerners come with. The reason why NGOs haven't worked in Africa is because of the belief of superiority that the white people have come with before. The reason why we still grapple with poverty up to date is because of the belief that Africa does not have resources, nor the ability to make the resources work for them. So if we're coming back as diasporans and we come back with our education, with our maybe sometimes superiority, we come back in the same level as an NGO, and we're not going to achieve anything in that sense. So we have to realize that all the problems we want to solve in Africa, all the economic issues we want to take up, must focus on the local context. We must make sure that we tune every single thing to the local context. I like what you said, Funke, that we need to involve the people. It's one of the things I actually wrote on my point. We need to involve the people more in making these decisions and having these projects go forward, because sometimes we bring things and impose them upon our people and they don't know how to go forward with them. That's number one comment. Now, going on to the policy document, I like what Weldon said. We've had this and Dr. Lucy too. We've had these documents over and over again. We have our perfect constitution right now that has not been fully implemented. And we are right now campaigning for a new constitution. So me looking at this policy document right now tells me of the failure of the whole system as it is right now. Even focusing on a particular policy document is a problem, because we know very well why these policy documents are made. We know very well how these policy documents are made. We know very well how these leaders arrive at these policy documents without consulting us, the diasporans. So if they asked us what we needed to make things work for us, this policy document would have been a bit different. But I'm sure the people who contributed to this policy document, some of them may not even have any interest in the development or in the participation of diasporans in our development. So having a document doesn't change things. I see them talking about protection of diasporans. One of the issues we've grappled with as diasporans is lack of government protection when we're in these countries. This has been an issue for the longest time possible. So they have it in the document, but on the ground right now, you cannot go to an embassy and get the immediate help that you may need if you're in an urgent need. And this is something we've experienced. I've experienced it myself. Sheila's experienced dealing with the embassies, and it's gone so wrong. So all these things mentioned in this policy documents, we know there are things that have been there before, but how are they going to be implemented? That's the issue. Now, for us to implement these things and for us to actually make sure this can work, we have to get in office. We have to come out of our comfort zones in Europe and our beautiful homes and our warm places and get out there in the cold and vie for offices. There's this notion among diasporans that politics is dirty in Africa. This is where we grew up. Did you know it was dirty before you left and came back to diaspora? But most of us have this notion of Africa like they've never lived there. Most diasporans right now, when they talk about security in a place like Nairobi, they talk about it like when they were living there, they were constantly running away from guns. You know, most of them, when you talk about running for office, they discourage you by telling you how dirty and how much people die in politics. But this is the system that we have brought up. This is the system that we grew up in. So if we run away and come and be comfortable in our small homes in Europe and in the US, who is going to change that system? Who is going to make things different? So I think, like Weldon said, representation is extremely important. And I like what Anthony did. He made that step and went back at home and tried to get into office. It's not about that he did succeed or not. It's about having that courage, going on the ground and doing his campaigns with an intention and a clear agenda for the people. So again, I believe that we need to focus more on getting these offices, because the policies we need right now can only be implemented by someone who understands the life of diasporans and how we can contribute back at home. And now, finally, and looking at it from a financial perspective, as a financial coach, I have to look at it from a financial perspective. We have the international finance system and structure. Then we have the national finance system and structure. And then we have the individual or the familial financial system. So people disregard a lot personal finance. And we haven't been taught so much about financial literacy as Black people. We can have what we call financial independence, but very few of us have financial freedom. Black people have not been taught how to generate wealth. We have been taught how to work for income and be slaves for life, but we have not been taught how to be financially free and how to build wealth that can last you over a number of generations. So those who build wealth, or those who maybe steal too much and keep it somewhere, that's what they think is wealth. But we haven't been taught on how can you have a long-lasting wealth that can be inherited and can impact on a wider economy, not just your household. So my focus on financial literacy is meant to bolster the need for financial education at the family level, at the individual level, and then that can impact the communities in different ways, and of course the country as a whole. We cannot have a good country economically if personally or individuals don't have any proper financial education. So I believe that this is one of the things that we need to look at in the future, and I'm doing my part as much as I can to make sure that I educate our people as much as possible on the need for financial literacy and how it contributes to our success as a nation, and even when we're negotiating for deals on an international level. With those remarks, I pass on the baton back to Lydia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ken. And I know I wanted to go to Funke after this, but I think Funke, I'll come to you after Ben all talks so that we can have now an open discussion, because then everybody will have laid out their points. And before that, I would like you, Ken, to please go on the Facebook and answer Ben Rota and Rispa Umundi, who actually say they totally disagree with your points. Your first point, your number one point. So you should go and just speak to them there so they can actually also tell us why they disagree with you. We'd like to know that. Okay. So, and then now I'll go to Bernard first. And then after that, then I'll have an open discussion where we can just now discuss. Bernard, please. Yeah, unmute yourself. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lydia. I think it helps when I come last like this, because I can take everybody's point, Funke, Anthony, Dr. Lucy, Sheila, Ken, and Weldon, and put it all together. So this is really nice for me. What I want to say is, I think we are all in agreement that one of the biggest problems that diaspora has faced is our own disunity. So I think that's not disputable, that because of our disunity, it's become so difficult for us to actually deal with the government as one entity. And once the government realized that we are so disunited, like Ken is saying, and all of us are saying, they've made policy for us without involving us. Actually, I'm surprised that listening to all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you, nobody has mentioned BBI at all, because this was our last hope for diaspora. We were hoping that with the BBI policy now being formulated, diaspora would finally be listened to. But what happened? What happened? We made hundreds and hundreds of petitions. We wrote proposals for the BBI and said, this is what diaspora is asking for. What was listened to? Zero, nothing. The whole issue of voting, nothing. Dual citizenship, nothing. Anything we try to raise and say, look, this is participation, public offices, being involved in the governance of the country, nothing. Creation, like, was it Anthony? I'm sorry, someone talked about the 48th county. And this is what I'm talking about now is what CPD party, the Congress of People's Democracy, why it was formed. And what we are trying to achieve is to get that 48th county, because the president himself said it. Diaspora is our 48th county. So why can't we implement that? Why can't we have a ministry for diaspora affairs like they have in the Southeast, in Israel, in India, all the developing countries, all the countries where Kenya is trying to go, South Korea, all these countries, what they've done is they've recognized what diaspora can contribute, and they've gone ahead and created fully fledged ministries for diaspora. Why is Kenya not among those countries? Why can they recognize the role that we are playing and say, look, enough is enough of us making policy for you, formulating policies for you. It's time we involved you in the policy formulation. And the moment they do that, we want panels. Like today, Lydia, look at your panel. You picked, the government should be doing the same. They need to say, look, we are doing BBI. We are doing this. We are talking about diaspora. So let's have diaspora representatives on the table. And like Funke said, like Dr. Lucy said, if we are not invited, it's time now we went with our chair and knocked and said, look, we need to be on this table because you are discussing our affairs. It's on this that we are saying, enough is enough of us writing. You can write documents, proposals to the government, send them until the cows come home. But unless we are actually represented in the governance of the country, either through elected offices or appointed offices, we are never going to make any difference. And that's the truth. But we will never achieve that unless first we unite. And the beauty of what I'm hearing is the one voice, diaspora one voice, because the moment we get that, and then we take, say, Congress for People's Democracy, which is a diaspora motivated political party, and we say this is going to be our wagon. I've had people who are running for governor of Nairobi. Well, I don't know what parties you intend to run with, but I want you to be aware that we can actually go there with our own political party and say enough is enough. Even if we get one governor, one member of parliament, one senator, one MCA, that's enough for starters in 2022. And then we build from there. We get our 48th county recognized by the government. We get a ministry of diaspora affairs. The rest will be history. I can tell you that the rest will be history, but we must unite first. And my call today is, let's not waste this opportunity. I never knew I would meet Funke, Dr. Lucy, Sheila, Ken Joe, Weldon, Anthony, and Lydia. I never knew we would meet face-to-face to discuss the unity of diaspora. Let's not miss this opportunity. Otherwise, history will judge us very harshly that we were actually called to a panel where we could discuss uniting our diaspora, and we lost it. And we lost it. So that's my prayer today. And what I'm saying is, remember, there is mistrust which borders on suspicion between the people of Kenya because of the way some of the diasporians have behaved when they went home, so I'm not apologizing for them. That's where this whole my Jew thing came up, and diasporians think it's a fancy name to be called my Jew. I say never ever call me my Jew because it's tunajionyesha. We are trying to show like we are, hey, I'm from my Jew. No, we are Kenyans, we are from there. I'm from Ukambani, and I know where my roots are, and I'm not going to disown that. That's where my roots are. And when I want to run for MCA or member of parliament or senator or governor, I will start from my roots. And I'm saying, let us all go back to our roots, where we came from. Stop this, my Jew thing, fancy, we'll go back to your roots. And let's build our own political party and then participate in the political process and see if we can win, even if it's 1-1-1-1. MCA, MNA, senator, governor, and who knows, we might get the presidency. You don't rule out anything, but for now, let's try something. The next point I'm making is that unless we actually reach out to the government as one united front, we will stew, like I've said. BBI has gone through now, and if you're a dual citizen, I'm not one, but if you're a dual citizen, you still cannot vote, you cannot hold public office, you will not hold any public office. If you got your citizenship by naturalization, for example, if you have to reapply. If you have to reapply to be a Kenyan. That's unheard of. You are born in Kenya. That's by birthright. That's your right. But you lose it just because you took another country's duty. No, these are things we are saying. The BBI report. Those who support the BBI, I'm saying, go back to the drawing board, involve diasporians, and listen to them, because some of these things do not make sense at all. That's my point. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Benoit. I think what we should fight for right now is the 48th county. That is what we should fight for. And I know that once we fight for our governor, who is one of our diaspora. And it's not just a diaspora, it's actually also a youth. So he's not going to be fighting for diaspora, but he's also going to fight for the youths, because he's a young diaspora, youth. So it's 2 in 1. I know we're going to get our 48th county. Once we get that, then we have our own representatives, we have our own governor, we have our own people, then things will change. And just coming back to what Ken said actually about staying away, because utapotea, blah, blah, blah. When I actually started this show, somebody actually advised me to stay away. Lydia, stay away, because where you're entering in. And I was like, I'm not a politician. I'm just giving probably politicians or people like Ken and Bernard who wants to enter into politics, like Weldon, who has a passion. He had a passion about BBI. In fact, he's the one who started this forum, and he handed it over to me. He was like, Lydia, you take it over. And then we have Dr. Lucy, we have Anthony, we have Funke. I'm not a politician. I'm just giving people a platform, and I'll not shy away from that. And Weldon can also tell you, because he's here, when we were threatened from Kenya with one party, I won't mention them, and they say you should shut this down, don't invite this. It was just horrible. But we did not stop. So we are still here to fight. Okay. And that will not stop me from going to Kenya either. The only thing holding me right now is COVID, not any politician, not any threat. So when I'm ready, I'll go to Kenya. So once again, thank you very much, everybody who is watching. Please share, comment, and like. I want to swap those 2 questions around that I gave Sheila and Anthony, and then I will invite Funke. She's been waiting for like ages, and I've been saying that now I'm becoming as a politician who just talks and don't do it. So now I'm going to take action. So I'm going to swap the questions around. So a question for Anthony: can you tell us the hit and most of the things you saw during campaign? So that's you, because you're the one who was campaigning. And then to Sheila, how do we get government commitment to partner with diaspora to use their skills to help our people? So I'll turn it around. But you're not answering it now. Funke will come first, okay? So now I'll hand it over to Funke, please. Hello, Funke. Funke, and yes.
Thank you, Lydia. I was waiting for you to unmute me. So my lips have been itchy. In fact, since I first heard Mr. Oko speak, I had this urge to start to answer. One of the things that I always say, and I usually begin with about myself, is that I'm a little Lagos girl who has been so privileged and so blessed to have walked the roads that I've walked. Now, that Harvard degree came at the back of an initial degree from Nigeria, from the University of Benin. After that, I went to MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And then I went to Harvard. Halafu, my PhD is from the University of Nairobi, of which I'm very proud. Now you will hear people drop names, not because of the brand that is being dropped, but because of the trust that is built when you hear that the person you're speaking with has been trained by such experts. Now, Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, Ethiopia, Ghana, Togo, name any African country, we need people like this to come home. We need young people to understand that Harvard is not above the African little girl. I started in Lagos. My beginnings are very humble. I am very grateful for where I am today. Even where I am today, I am a farmer in Kinango. I lived in Kahuroko, in Yamatope, which many people cannot say that they would do with a Harvard degree. I plant with these same hands. So really, Maju does not apply to someone like me. My humility carries me into Kibera. I eat free meals. I will be housed and clothed and taken care of if I just show up there.
In fact,
so
Funke,
let us not talk about diaspora.
Funke,
yes.
Let me talk about that Kibera thing. Me and Funke were actually invited inside Kibera. That even me, I was thinking, wow, how? The road was like this. We were like this, meeting with dogs, mtaro with poo-poo and everything. And we were like, I did not see Funke flinch 1 minute that, oh my God, a Harvard girl walking in the middle of Kibera. And we went in that house. We used their toilet. We ate food, and that was the best food I've ever eaten in Kibera slums. So Funke, I just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Lydia.
Continue.
You. I must also say that all of these discussions are important. Somebody mentioned that leadership is inherited. The truth is, in Africa, historically, leadership has been an inheritance. If your father was a chief, you were likely to be raised and trained to become a chief. You were likely to raise your son to become a chief. If your father was a drum maker, he was a very good drum maker. He taught you his secrets, which you taught to your children. And so in each way, and leadership is not just about the chieftain, it's also about control of what you do, of what your trade or talent is. Now, this Kiswahili proverb says, haraka haraka haina baraka. The day we realize that we have had parental mistakes, mistakes of the policies that were before our time, mistakes of the systems that we are now living in, the day we wake up to realize we have those mistakes, that is the day we begin to make the corrections. So even though until now, it might have been inherited, it is up to you and I to make a new beginning. And you see, if we rush it, we will get it wrong. So these are the things we need to build foundationally, and it starts with our people, like I said before. When Mr. Oko was speaking about how the diaspora come home without humility, that should not be the case. We cannot succeed unless we remember. My people say in Yoruba, it means any river that forgets its source, it dries up. So the same thing that Bernard Cavill was saying, you must remember your roots and where you have come from. But you must also remember that for a root to be successful, it must attempt to go maju. If you do not try to shoot up, you cannot carry your community along. So in education, as well as in politics, we must carry our people. We must tell young people, and especially Ken Oko, you must tell the young who listen to you, that education is the key. If you get a good education, people will listen to you. With it comes humility, the humility to go into our communities and go as we are with open hearts. It will work. The diaspora is not just a name for a demographic. Like Ms. Chebet said, it is us. And if we don't make the difference now, who will do it for us? Historically, when we talk about tribes, and this knowledge comes from the history of the communities of Kenya, from Dr. Nganga's book, you will hear that from the days when the Bantu migration happened, it happened from that side of Nigeria, Cameroon, where they call the Niger Delta today, and we began to walk downwards this way as groups of people. At some point, the Abagusis stopped. At some point, the Abaluyas camped, and the Agikuyus continued and came downwards towards this valley. Am I wrong, my people? So if we are the same people at the beginning of our travels to this point in Africa where we are today, where we call home, we should go back to our roots, like Bernard said, and remember that we were one. These country lines that have been drawn for us today, these tribal lines and county lines and region lines, they are foreign to us. At the beginning of our interaction and relationship as Africans, we related as people, as clans, as families, as members of households and names. That is why we still name for our ancestors, even today. So let's not forget that we really are one. We are shortchanging one another by thinking in terms of tribes, or indeed in terms of country. I was born in Nigeria, but I live in Kenya today. And some of my children were born here. Some were born along the other journeys that I have taken along my life. I have as much of a commitment to this land as I would have to the one in which I was born. This is where I live. This is the oxygen that I breathe. It is the greeneries of Ngong Hills that keep me happy in the mornings. These are my brothers and sisters, these Kenyans that you see around me. I will not go all the way to Lagos to look for family. I have family here. If you and I work together and we make Kenya work, it will not only work for Kenyans, it will work for all Africans. Meaning in Kenya, I cannot be taken away from here. This is my home. So let us begin to build this together. Thank you, Lydia, for this opportunity. I hope we will have more. Asante Sana, all my panelists.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Funke. Yeah, That was really good. That was good. I like that. So I'll go to Sheila, please. Sheila, if you can just come and answer the question that I gave you, and then I'll also give Dr. Lucy a question to answer. But Sheila, go first, please.
Thank you very much. Because you'd given me the earlier question, I'd already prepared for that. So I don't want it to go to waste. I'll mention in brief, then I go to the other one.
Okay, that's fine.
I've been on the campaign trail. I have been on the campaign trail. My brother has campaigned as an MP, and I've got very close friends that have also campaigned for positions as women. So I support women that go for politics as well. I, as a person, I'm the least politically minded person out there, but I understand the need for it. It's like you're taking bitter medicine because you know it makes you well. So I get interested in politics because I see it affects everything, every aspect of our life right now. When you live in a capitalistic world, politics is very crucial because the leaders determine even what oxygen to breathe at what time and at what capacity. So what happens on the campaign trail, what I've seen in the campaign trail is psychopathy and sociopathy and narcissism and greed and all kinds of negativity you can think of. There is discord, there is greed. We just become possessed with this energy that we have to get at the top at whatever cost. Disharmony is the key there. It's like when we go there, we're not going there to serve people. We're going there to get to the top, because at the top of it, we have the power to now dictate on people, to now, you know, take as much money as possible. So what I've seen on the campaign trail has been very shocking and very traumatizing. And when people sit and they say politics is dirty, it is on the back of that. It does not need to be like that at all. This is all choice, and it is choice with people playing puppets elsewhere. Anyway, Weldon will continue with the question. I'd prepared the answer. I was going to go details and give examples because I have been on the campaign trail, and I tell you, when you come out of there, you need counseling and you need time in a dark room just by yourself to unburden. Anyway, to answer your question, you asked me, how do we get the government to commit in its partnering with the diaspora to utilize the skill sets of the diaspora? I find problems with that question in the first place. It is like asking, how do you get the rats to discuss with the cat not to eat them? You know, it's like you're saying, okay, there is this cat that has been eating the rats. And now the rats need to say, how do we ensure that we negotiate with the government not to eat us? Because at the heart of it, the way the government structure is, including the BBI that's there, I find at the heart of it, there is people at the top talking down to the people at the bottom without actually having involved them. So you find whatever paperwork that we've got in the government, call them policies, call them whatever it is, just call them government, whatever we've got is to maintain the status quo. And the status quo here as Africans, we need to know the status quo is white supremacy. The status quo is not Black empowerment. The status quo is not national cohesion. It is not the end of tribalism or handshake or what you've got. The status quo is white supremacy. And that white supremacy is what leads the diaspora. You get comments like, oh, the diaspora feels so sweet. Oh, my Jew. Oh, this and that. It's just because we feel like, you know what, we are closer, we're in the diaspora. And the diaspora here, when we talk of the diaspora, most of the time we're not talking about African countries or Asian countries. We're talking about Western countries with white people because of the white supremacy. So you find for us to leverage to get the government on our side, first of all, I question the thing, must we have the government on our side? So we start from that question. But to indulge you in the question you've asked, if we say, let us maintain the status quo, let us see how we can get the government on our side. Yeah? Let us as rats decide how we can negotiate with the cat not to eat us. I will say this, first of all, we have to see what leverage we've got. What is it that we've got that the government benefits from us and we're giving it for free? Mm-hmm. Like a man that's chatting up a woman and the woman is very available and the man is just, you know, treating her with disregard. The woman can withhold some things to make the man stand up and say, hey, I need to put effort here. That is leverage. So what leverage have we got? We've mentioned remittance here. So we have to find ways in which we can utilize that leverage of remittance, because the remittance does help with the GDP of the country, does help with the economics of the country. So we have to look at that and see how can we withhold that, or how can we use that as leverage for the government to listen to us. Basically, we don't go empty-handed. We go with something. And if money is involved, whenever you squeeze the money, you squeeze off money, people stand up and they're ready to talk. Then the other thing, we also have to know that the government sometimes is the middleman. So as it is with middlemen, sometimes you can get rid of the middleman and go directly to the people. So it may reach that point where we have panels like this and discussions like this, where we are directly reaching out to the people. So if we reach out to the people and we start changing their consciousness, sometimes all that is required is a shift in consciousness. And once we shift the consciousness of the people on the ground, and we also shift the consciousness of the people in the diaspora, the government will be coming to us, it will be begging, because we would have taken our power back. And when you've taken your power back, you are in that position of power. You are not going to someone with a begging bowl in their hand and saying, hey, look at me, help me like this. That is where we are right now. So we are actually asking this question, how do we go beg well? How should we go and beg in a nice way? Well, I'm saying, really, do we need to beg in the first place? Do we need to beg what's rightfully ours? So we need to take our power back. And taking our power back, we go back to the individual person. If you as the individual, you're within conflict within yourself, you are in so much conflict because what is happening within you is not harmonious. There is no way you will put out harmony into the world. We have kept on speaking here about the one voice, and there is power in the collective voice. Your voice is amplified when you're speaking as a collective. However, if you are disharmonious within yourself, you have this conflict within yourself, how can you even have harmony with the person next to you? You can't. Mm-hmm. It is impossible. You cannot give what you don't have. And we have been put in this disharmonious state that disharmony has become part and parcel of who we are. We actually are more at home with the disharmony because our ego is very at home with the familiar. So this disharmony we see in every facet of our life as Black people. We see it in our homes. We see the way our mothers relate with our fathers, the way our mothers relate with the society out there, the way our mothers relate with religion, the way they relate with politics. We see how our fathers relate with the financial world. You know, money comes into it. There is a lot of conflict and a lot of trauma there. We see just in the family this disharmony. So the conflict starts from we're very young. Then when we go to the schools, we even see more compounded disharmony. So we grow with disharmony as part and parcel of who we are. So when we grow and we up and we want to come together as one voice, Lydia is coming there with her own conflict within herself. Funke is coming with hers, Bernard with his, Ken with his, well done. And we are all this in this melting pot, each of us having some little disharmony to contribute to it. So we become very, very disharmonious because the foundation of what we are not seeking harmony. So how do we remedy all this? We remedy it by, first of all, getting into that harmony within ourselves. It has to be an individual thing first and foremost. And once we have that harmony within ourselves, it will be easier to speak in one voice. Even when we have diverse opinions, some of them very different, some of them very polar opposites. When we know that we are seeking that harmony, when we know that whatever happens, we are looking for the one thing, and that thing is recognition. We're looking for that voice from we're looking for that recognition from the government and recognition from also our people on the ground. We want them to know that we are part and parcel of them, that we are all Kenyans. If we are looking for that, then that harmony has to be deeply ingrained with us. We have to come with it. And that is where we are lacking as a diaspora. We are, not as a diaspora, as a Black people in general, we don't have that harmony within ourselves. And that is what is making us have that disunity that Bernard has been talking about. We are disunited. But it's not a thing whereby we come together and say, okay, right, we know the problem is disunity. From now onwards, I decree that we have unity. We speak in one voice. Let us go. Let's look at the diaspora policy. Let's look for the government. No, that is false. That is forcing it. And it means that we'll be coming together and trying to force something that is not genuine. So for us to actually have that one voice, we need to go back to the drawing board and see what is actually causing us this disharmony. Why do I have this conflict within myself? And if you follow that path, you're going to get at white supremacy. In that Kibera slum where Lydia, you went and ate the nice, wonderful food. Why is that slum in existence? You'll find white supremacy is at the heart of it. In the Harvard University that that Funke went and learned, that Harvard University where you say you need to be educated well, you will find white supremacy sitting there. That is why Black people, as clever as they are, very few, like amongst us here, we are all very clever, but only Funke has gone to Harvard. White supremacy. That white supremacy is what is sitting there and causing so much disharmony within us. And so many of us are not even aware of it. So whatever we're doing, we're treating symptoms here and there, including the question you asked me. It is a question that just highlights the symptom that's there. So to answer that question, as I say, we can go for leverage and treat the symptoms, or we can sit down on the drawing board and say, okay, these are the problems. And we have to know that each and every Black person is suffering from that problem. And
Thank
once
you,
we
Sheila.
suffer from this problem, we start solving it.
Thank you, Sheila.
We don't do anything. We still continue having conversations like this, yeah? Anyway.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you.
So much passion when it comes to this.
Thank you. I know. Thank you, Sheila.
But one thing before I go, I say this.
Thank you.
When we are going with the government, we have to know we cannot teach old dogs new tricks. Some people in the government are there to frustrate us. I'm not going to mention names, but some of them, they are old dogs that have been frustrating us always. And then these are the people we say, we want to work with this ministry. We want to go and negotiate with them.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheila.
Of disharmony.
Thank you, Sheila. Thank you.
Leverage.
Sheila, I know if I give you the microphone, you're not going to give it back. I have to snatch it away from you. Thank you very much, because I know how passionate you are. So before I go to Anthony to answer the question I asked, I'll also give this question to Dr. Lucy. So Dr. Lucy, after Anthony, if you can please answer this question for us as well. We have a lady called Caroline Adenya. And I'm so proud of this lady because she's actually took it upon herself, and she started giving pads to the women in Kenya. And I know something like that would touch Funke's heart, because Funke is always there helping charity after charity. And she took it upon herself, and she's now helping ladies in Kenya. And like I said, one day I'm going to have this other discussion. Why is it that condoms are free and they're giving condoms like sweets, free condoms everywhere, but yet having sex is a choice. You don't have to. But when it comes to women every month, we have to have periods. It's not something that you plan or you want to. It's something that it's nature. It's a cycle in us. And yet we cannot even get free pads. And then we have our ladies who are sleeping with useless, stupid men, giving them pads every month, telling them, if you sleep with me, I'll give you pad. Those men should actually be shot. I don't even care, because what they're doing to our young ladies, 16, 15, sleeping with them, making them pregnant just for pads. And the next time, the lady's still going to have a periods anyway. So how many men with this girl sleep with for pads? And the government is busy giving free condoms, which they're not even using because they're making these girls pregnant anyway. So what's the point? So this girl, that one is to my heart. The way Sheila's passionate about this side, we are passionate about that side. And it hurts me so much to see that young ladies are getting pregnant every day just because they want to have money to buy pads. So this lady called Caroline Adenya, she has taken it upon herself, because even if you're helping only one child, only one girl, you're helping a lot. And somebody shouldn't tell me that a condom is to prevent HIV. You have a choice. You don't have to have sex. So if you go and have unprotected sex and have HIV, that is on you. But you cannot tell me that a lady is having periods and then you have a choice to choose. What should I do? Free condom or free pads? Oh, free condom. So they don't get HIV. That's your business. Oh God, that is annoying me. So now I'm going to ask this from Caroline Adenya, who is actually helping girls. So please, I encourage everybody, get in touch with her. Even if you can just give a pad for 1 month, 200 girls, that's something. So there's a question here for Lucy, Dr. Lucy. Investing back in Kenya is like hell. You just end up in conmen's circle, including your own family. You send money home and they lie to you that they're building a house for you. The only thing they send to you is construction from a neighbor. So the question is, how do we avoid these fake people? How can we protect ourselves as diaspora from this fake conmen back home? And the reason why I have to ask this Dr. Lucy, because I know she started a circle for women in America. So she started a circle. That's why she's a co-founder, or she's a founder of this circle in America. So that's why I needed to answer this question for us. But before she can answer the question, I'll go to Anthony. Anthony, please, if you can answer the question. And Anthony, now is only 1 minute. I'll take the microphone from you.
Fine. The question was before about the temperature. Is that so? About the politics?
Yes.
Okay, what would you like to say? Allow me to say two things. First and foremost, you had mentioned about the government and diaspora. Allow me to mention one thing and say that, for instance, the way Obama managed to enter into State House in America, then he was able to know a lot of things in there. So for us also to know more about State House, one of us has to be in that State House for us to know what has been happening in that State House. The other thing about politics, when it comes to politics, there's a lot of promises that people are given during politics. And during politics, and people, they think maybe, but what I want to say is applying straightforward, because we realized during that time, people want to get the promises for now, not later. And that one makes it the temperature of politics to become a bit heat or debatable. So for me, what I would think is, I would like just to summarize to say, as I had mentioned before, we need the key to that is civic education awareness. People to know it's not about money, it's about their future, it's about their welfare, it's about their education, it's about the future of everybody in that community. That's what I would like to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So I'll go to Dr. Lucy. Thank you so much, Anthony. I can see you've not spoken in church before, because you know the pastors, you give them a microphone, they don't give it back. So I know Sheila's been a pastor's assistant one day. They don't give the mic back. All right, thank you very much, Anthony. Okay, no disrespect to church. I love church. Okay, Dr. Lucy, please.
Thank you so much. Oh my goodness, these panelists are passionate about every section that they are given. You know, it's such a dynamic platform to be on, and the panelists are very, very engaging. All right, so Caroline Adenya, thank you so much for what you're doing, and congratulations for making an impact to the young women back home. With regards to your question about how do we invest back home, that investing back home is like hell, and how do we get rid of those conmen? One thing we have done is that as Kenyans, we have a very stringent way that we vet anybody coming to do business with our members. And I think this should have already been done by the government prior to these people who come and are conmen, who are very, who benefit from our unsuspecting selves. When you live outside of the diaspora for a while, you become very trusting, because in the communities where you live, things seem to flow like they should. And so when somebody comes and tells you that they're going to do this big thing with your money, you are trusting that that is actually what they will do. The problem is that even after we voice our concerns that these people have come and conned us of our money, the government doesn't take it upon themselves to prosecute these people to refund back our money or to actualize that project. So what I would say is that don't be discouraged from investing back home. Because for, giving an example of Kenyans, our members are investing back home. You just need to do it with credible organizations. Do that extra due diligence. Just because somebody is telling you they are selling land somewhere does not mean that that land is in a place where you can actually reap benefits. Many times it's speculative that that land, the price will go up. But when they say it will go up, do they mean it's going up next month, or do they mean it will go up in 20 years? So let us be able to ask the right questions, engage a lawyer to do the due diligence on your part. Yes, it will cost you money, but that is the best money you will probably have spent, because then they can dig and find, are they the landowners of the land that they're selling you or the property they're selling you? Is that property leveraged for some other thing? And when it comes to family, I'm not gonna say you don't send them money, but it should not, you have to find that trusting person that will execute your desires in terms of investment. Because if you're sending your family members 100,000 every month to do your project, but they're hungry, You know, you have not met their basic needs themselves, and they are looking up to you to help that. Chances are, you know, in all fairness, I'm not saying it's good that they're eating your money, but in all fairness, they're going to first meet their personal needs before they meet your need, because they, in their mind, they believe that you're walking in streets paved with money. So weigh the situation. If you're sending this money to somebody who can't afford school fees, okay, and you're sending them 1 million shillings, A, you're tempting them, you're putting them in a situation where you have to tempt them to spend your money. And B, you are compromising a situation where you might end up not being the beneficiary. So utilize the proper channels to do your investments. If it's to buy shares, use investment brokers. You don't have to send it to your family, and that will create you generational wealth. So I think as diasporans, it is time that we started identifying those sources that can, the experts that can help us invest back home safely.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lucy.
Thank you.
Okay, so Benold also wanted to say something. Benold? Unmute yourself, please.
Yes, I just wanted to respond to the previous question about how diaspora was, how we are supposed to work with the government, which Sheila very well summarized in terms of the cat and the mouse trying to negotiate. I would like to say, sometimes, and this is very important, because for us as a new political party, we want to have a partnership with the government. We want to work with the government of the day. If we take over the government, if we are in charge, well and good. But I don't think it's a case of where that diaspora is aggrieved that nothing is done for them. I think we also need to have a very balanced argument here. Personally, I've been in diaspora for what? Almost 20 years. I have benefited from government consular services, for example. I was able to renew my passports very recently. I was able actually to get my new ID through them, the High Commission. So I would like us to have, and this is the most important thing, and what really disappointed with the BBI process is that we were not listened to, because diaspora is not saying that the government has not been doing anything. The consular services have been great where they exist. But if you take UK, for example, it's not a very big country. So in London, we have one consular office, it serves as well. But if you take the people in the US, for example, having only Washington, DC to get these services becomes a problem. So whereas in the UK, we could say the consular services are great, because personally, I experienced this. I was told my ID would take 8 weeks to arrive from Kenya, and it came within 8 weeks, to be honest. I like that. I think we need to also think of other countries like the US, which are massive. Their needs for consular services are more than what we have in the UK, for example. So that's one thing. What I really feel the most important thing is this negotiation between the mouse and cat. This should have been part of the BBI process, because if we are going to change the constitution, for example, if there'll be a referendum for that, and the diaspora requirements, the things we've requested for are not entrenched in the constitution, if we don't get our 48th constituency, for example, if we don't get a provision, okay, the Ministry for Diaspora Affairs can be created by the government of the day, but the 48th constituency at least should have been considered. There are issues about the different roles that citizens who are now dual citizens, because the constitution talks about if you're a dual citizen, you cannot hold this. These are changes that must be done now if there will be a referendum. And if we miss this opportunity, it's going to leave us in a limbo. And that's why I strongly feel that if there are any government officials listening to this, it would really, really be great if they can reconsider the proposals that diaspora made to the BBI process. Because if that doesn't happen, then I think, and that makes it more important for us to launch our own party and try, because it will only be the day we have a diaspora party in power that some of these things might be realized. So I'm actually pleading with all of you here today, please, let's join us. Find me, I will find you. Let's see if we can all come together and see if we can make our political party a reality. We're in the process of forming it, and you're all welcome to join, bring your ideas, and let's do it together. It's two-pronged. We have Kenyans in Kenya. We've got more than almost 20,000 Kenyans already on the ground, every county in Kenya, and diaspora, US, Europe, UK, we are everywhere. African diaspora as well, which nobody cares or mentions. They are in there, Asia. Let's all come together, join the Congress for People's Democracy, and let's negotiate, not like a rat, but like a bigger cat. Right, Sheila? A bigger cat than the rat. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bernard. And somebody just asked, Tina Love, how can I get my ID here in the UK? Please get in touch with Bernard as well, because like you heard him say, he actually applied, and when the timeline they gave him, they actually delivered. So get in touch, Tina Love or Bernard, please, if you go on the forum. You see somebody called Tina Love, she's asked that question. And a lot of people as well are talking about sending money home. And just like Dr. Lucy rightfully told us, you have to do your own due diligence. And somebody said that some lawyers are also con men. As much as you're going to involve a lawyer, you also have to do your own due diligence to make sure that this lawyer is not a con man. And you also have to use credible organizations, which we do have all around diaspora. Check who are you using. So don't just be told, oh, there's a lawyer there in Kamukunji, and you run to that lawyer. Come on. You have to also check it yourself and see that, okay, this is a lawyer that I need to use. And saying that as well, please, guys, Tina Love actually gave her number there, Bernard, so you can go and get her number, is there on the forum. So thank you very much, Ken. I can see Ken, I can see Sheila, I can see Weldon. Thank you very much. You're commenting as well. You're actually involving the other people on Facebook, which is good. Thank you very much. And I can say panelists, you still have to go and also involve the people who are watching and listening to us so that we are one voice. As we say, one voice consortium. So we are one voice, not that we have people in the Zoom and we have people on Facebook, because people are always asking me, how do I join Zoom? How do I join Zoom? Because they feel like when they're in the Zoom, that's the only time they're participating, but it's not really. We need to make them feel that they are part of us. And thank you very much, everybody. Once again, I'll say thank you so much, everybody who is watching on Facebook. Thank you for taking your time, especially Caroline. Caroline, thank you for sharing. Guys, we need to share. Somebody's asking, can we form a WhatsApp group? One consortium, One Voice Consortium actually have that. So probably if you get in touch with Dr. Lucy, who is here actually to represent One Voice. So Alois Paraletos is asking that question. So if you get in touch with Lucy, she will show you how to be part of the One Voice Consortium. So thank you very much, everybody. Please share, the people on Facebook, share, call your friends, let everybody come and watch. Thank you. Bernard, you have to put your contacts on Facebook, not on Zoom, because on Zoom it's only us who can see it. But if you put it on Facebook, then everybody will see it on Facebook. Thank you very much. So I know we have Weldon also who wants to say something. Weldon, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to add on what Bernard said. And before I add on what Bernard said, Bernard actually said that we can have a party, a tool, or a vehicle where we can use in political side to push and to make a difference in Kenya. I want to challenge you, Bernard. Today, we can declare, we can use your party and use Ken actually to go for the Nairobi governor seat. Why don't we use your party? Unless if Ken has another party.
No, I don't have any party yet, but I'm very ready for this. Well done. I'm very ready.
Exactly.
Okay, so now this is a discussion I wanted us to have, because I was trying, why I put that link there, it links you to the Diaspora Party WhatsApp group. I need all of you guys to join.
Okay, can we have this discussion later? This one is not for now. We'll have it after.
I want to finish.
Weldon finish what he's saying.
So I was telling Bernard, because now we are talking about the political force, where we have to remind the people back home that we also want to come in and help improve because we have seen in Kenya that the political side of things really influence in economic and our social things. We cannot even invest home if the political issues are really bad because of the risks involved. So we need to go in and go in deeply with political side of things. So I want to answer with what someone asked on Facebook, and he's the president actually he's the chairman of KDA in the UK. He said, how can we partner as diaspora with the Kenyan government? I want to tell the chairman of KDA in the UK that it is possible to partner with as diaspora with the Kenyan government. Because one thing, we need to form umbrella associations. I can tell you from our experience in France, yes, I know we are few. We cannot compare with the UK and the US, but I can tell you with organization and structure where the embassy or the missions abroad, because in France, actually, we have the embassy and we have it's not only the embassy that are based in Paris. We have not the UNEP. We have I forgot. So we in Paris we have Kenyan's representative. We have more than one ambassador. Okay, the missions abroad, because they represent either they are representing Kenya on the UN part, or they are representing Kenya in the embassy. But now we have a structure. As the Kenyans in France, we have the umbrella association where they have all the associations in France inside and all the individuals in France. So even if there are some Kenyans who are against, because it is very difficult to bring all Kenyans guys to one association, but the embassy and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have recognized that this is the vehicle, this is the umbrella association that we are going to work with. So I want to tell all the diasporans here today that in each and every country where you are, the associations, the Kenyans at the Park, the KDA, all these associations, you come together and make sure that the Kenya High Commission in the UK recognize you officially, because it's in the Kenya diaspora policy. It's not something that you are requesting. It's in the Kenya diaspora policy that should be implemented actually, that there should be one umbrella association in each and every country, so that this umbrella association can link the Kenyan government with the diaspora, okay? So once you have in each and every country, we can be able to now, because in our side, as for me, as is the president of the umbrella association here, I can have meetings with the ambassador. The other day, 2 weeks ago, I had meetings with the ambassador and all the diplomatic staff. And I actually told them what we need, the challenges. When we talk about 3 million, as the doctor mentioned, the 3 million Kenyans, there are some Kenyans who are not documented. I have experience as the president of the Umbrella Association that there are some Kenyans who came here as refugees. They cannot be declared in the embassy because they have already denied their country. But with the diaspora associations, we have them with us. So these are the things that as the diaspora association, we come in between the Kenyans and the government. We are able to represent the Kenyans who cannot be recognized by our government, and all those Kenyans who can be recognized. When we talk about the 3 million in 2014, it is more because there are many Kenyans who came before as refugees and they cannot be counted. So when we say it's even over 4 million Kenyans, it is true. So this is why we need an umbrella association, guys. That is how we can partner. And to finish, Anthony also already mentioned his experience. And the same way when Ken, we say that, Bernard, you should put in Ken, and we can have, why don't we as diaspora say, we want to make a voice and say, okay, we are making even a conference and say, we are supporting Ken. Hata kama atapata 10 votes, you know, those guys will notice that the diasporans are actually coming up, you know?
Yes,
yes.
That's the way to go.
10 votes, we know that we have made a stand. It's time to make a, we have to start somewhere.
Let me interrupt you, Walden. We take one candidate and put him through. Even if we get one seat, let it be. But let's go as one voice, one diaspora. We can do it. And that's what I've been telling my party members. We just need to identify areas we can win. We don't need to go 47 counties. Let's go, even if it's 2, 3, 4 counties, but let's win. And Ken now would be our voice, our diaspora candidate. And we all rally behind him. And then CPD, Congress of People's Democracy, is our party. Let's also rally behind it because we are still registering it. We are establishing it. It's time for all of you to join, to be pioneers of it, you know? So I don't think...
So to finish, before Lydia take my time, Anthony mentioned about the 48th county. Before even we talk about the 48th county, we should say, why don't we have someone to represent us in the House? When we talk about the county, they will be scared. They will think that we want money because counties need you put billions of money, but we are giving them billions actually. In fact, this is our 48th county is very important to them because we are giving them money. We are not even asking them money, okay? So why don't we have someone in the House, even if it's nominated person, okay? We are not united, guys. We can even have more than 5 in the nomination positions in the parliament, but we are not united because over 300 billion shillings means we have a voice. But to end is that we can have one person, we can have this, because to end this, I would say in the US and the UK actually gave out their proposals to BBI task force, okay? We were here before and they discussed about very beautiful ideas from diaspora. But it should not be our discouragement because one thing we know is that we have the policy, the Kenya diaspora policy. This Kenya diaspora policy, we can actually put all the things that were mentioned by the US and the UK into the Kenya diaspora policy. It's policies, guys. We don't have to go to referendum to change. It has nothing to do with that. So even if nothing was captured in our BBI, let's put our heads together and say, why don't we improve the Kenya diaspora policy? We add all those things. We say, okay, we want Kenya diaspora because in the UK, they said they want a diaspora desk in every embassy. And the diaspora desk should have someone from diaspora, you know, someone who understands the diaspora, someone who knows that there are Kenyans who are not even documented by the government. So those are some of the beautiful things. And someone mentioned about the dual citizenship, which is not included. That one should go to referendum, of course, but it's unfortunate that it was not captured in the BBI because if you have a dual citizen, if you have a dual citizenship, if you are in dual citizenship situation, you cannot go and vie for governor or even as member of parliament because the constitution does not allow you that. So, but there are so many things, 99% of the things that we can put into Kenya diaspora policy. And the secret is we need to come up together, team up through the idea of umbrella association. And as Lydia is leading us through these guys, let's listen. And if it's one voice consortium, let's accept to give out some powers from our countries. As the president in France, I accept because the point is that we must unite together as one voice. I accept, even if it's an association that has been existing before, if it's if it's a vehicle to bring us together, let's agree, guys. Let's agree here and say, okay, One Voice Consortium is the one that will make the government, that will bring Uhuru and Raila to sit down and listen to diaspora. They cannot listen to us now because it's a waste of time. But economically, we are powerful. We have over 300 billion. So let's listen to this direction. Lydia is a non-political person. I am actually the person who convinced her, but she doesn't like politics. So we should be able, some of you who are politicians have the advantage because she's interested in development and non-governmental issues and to assist Kenyans. So I am also interested in politics, so I cannot lie to you, but we should listen to the people who doesn't have political affiliations, and we can drive the diaspora forward. Thank you very much, and I give you back, Lydia.
Thank you. Thank you, well done. I'm sure now when I give you your 1 minute, it will be seconds and we're done. Yeah. Okay, so just to, somebody said the question is, if we're not captured in the BBI, why should we support it? I think there's a lot of people in diaspora who do not support the BBI, personally. Personally, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't say yes or no to anybody because it's a personal decision if you want to support the BBI or not. But to me, it doesn't stand out as something a document that supports diaspora. And because I'm in diaspora, so personally, I'll say no, pass to BBI. Okay, now just to let you know, again, this program is brought to you every Saturday. We're here and it's brought to you by Kifua, the Kenyans in France Umbrella Association, and also KDA, Kenya Diaspora Alliance in the UK. And then we also have One Voice Consortium in the United States of America, Obama's land. And with the One Voice Consortium, they have over 40 organizations under them. And then they also have over 100,000 individuals under them. And I was shocked that this organization, the One Voice Consortium, only started in May 2020. In fact, when I was speaking to one of the founders, when he said 6 months or 7 months, I thought it's 6 years. So I was actually thinking in my head it's 6 years until we had a meeting again last week, and they said he only started in May. So if something started in May and it has over 100,000 individuals already and over 40 organizations, who will say no to something like that? Because their objectives and their aims and the passion, whatever their drive is not self-centered. It's something that wants to bring a diaspora together, not just Kenyans, but diaspora, which means all the Africans in it as well. So thank you very much. And we're here again back on Saturday, the same time from 5 p.m. We're always on Saturday discussing diaspora. If you want to be part of it, please, you can inbox me or you can inbox Weldon. So you can inbox myself, Lydia Tetolet, or you can inbox Weldon. Please, if you want to be part of it, we welcome everybody. Somebody said the other day that, is it just people with titles that we bring in? Because every time they see, oh, Dr. So-and-so and Coach so-and-so and who and big, no. We do not bring people with title. We bring anybody. And diaspora, last week we had somebody from Uganda. So anybody, if we are interested, please inbox and do take part. Because we are not angels to know who you are. You need to contact either myself or Weldon, and we will give you a slot. And also just to say, as much as we're here on Saturday, we are also here on Sundays, every Sunday from 6 to 8, 6, 7, 8, yeah, 6 to 8, I always count because I failed in school when I was doing maths. So I always do this to know that. So it's 6 p.m. London time, and it's 9 p.m. Kenyan time tomorrow. And tomorrow we're actually talking about a guy who was carrying a gun. And this is a physical gun. He's not just saying gun. No, it's a physical gun the guy was carrying. But according to him, he never killed anybody. And now he's not carrying a gun anymore. He's carrying a Bible. And he's not a pastor or anything. He's just somebody who has been reformed from gun to the Bible. So tomorrow is very important. It is all about boy child, again, because we're talking about boys. We've seen a lot of people concentrating on girl child. They get empowered. They forget boy child. When they leave the boy child, that girl child that's been empowered is going to meet the boy child that's not been empowered. And then what happens? We all fall down again and we start from square one. So we need to empower our boys as well. So tomorrow the topic is all about boy child. And that's now my passion, even though I don't have boys personally, but I know that to educate a boy is as much as important as to educate and empower a girl, because they're all equal. So thank you very much. So before I close, I'll say Merry Christmas again. I'll give everybody 1 minute to talk. I'll say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I know everybody, 2020 was a whoosh, I don't know. But I wouldn't say 2021, we don't know what 2021 brings. There's this nice picture of a boy, a man that was sent to 2021. And he came back with his mouth swollen and his eyes, he was bleeding. So we don't know what 2021 has for us, but we can only pray and hope for the best for 2021. Now with COVID, I always say, please, COVID is real, is out there. People are dying. People are getting sick. I know personally people who have died. I know them personally. And yes, they did say they died of COVID. Some people are saying it's not true, it's not there. But whether it's there or not, guys, let's just abide with the government rules. Wash your hands, social distancing, wear your mask, use your sanitizer when you're outside, when you're outdoors. Every time, just carry a sanitizer in your bag or your pocket. So stay safe, guys, and stay blessed. So before I go, I'll give everybody 1 minute. 1 minute, guys, 1 minute. And I'll start with Funke Michaels again for your final remarks. Thank you, Funke.
Thank you, Lydia. 1 minute is hardly enough to express my gratitude to each one of you on the panel. It's been very eye-opening for me to meet you, or how do we say, to virtually meet you. I hope that we'll get to know one another in the future. I also hope that we'll get to have collaborations together that will help to promote the welfare of our people. I look forward to meeting you on other fora. I hope that in the future, we'll get to do a lot of magic in this land and across Africa. Be blessed, each one of you. Have a wonderful year's end and an even more beautiful 2021. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Funke. I'll go to Dr. Lucy, please.
Thank you so much, Lydia. And it's been an honor being on this panelist with everybody here. Mine is to wish everybody who's been watching us an excellent 2021. Let us walk into that year boldly. But to conclude, my final words will be that let us collaborate and not compete. It will be all organizations meeting under one voice and collaborating to the bigger end. We need to know, in order for us to be successful, we need to be self-disciplined. So the things that Sheila talked about, we need to tackle those things that bind us backwards. We need to be selfless. We are going to give in a lot of our time. We also need to know that we are going to have the possibility of being publicly humiliated by those who we are trying to serve. But all the same, we may fail, but it will be worse if we don't try. And also to be misunderstood. As we are forming this and being under this one voice umbrella, we're going to be misunderstood. What is our personal agendas? So let us take heart, but if we are able to check box each of those 5 items, we are going to be successful and we will be able to have an impact, and that diaspora policy will come to life. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Happy New Year to everybody. Be blessed.
Thank you, Lucy. So I'll go to Sheila, please.
I will start by thanking everyone for this opportunity to volunteer your time and energy to come and listen to us talk. It's an honor indeed. Thank you very much. And that is the first step towards getting this unity and getting this development for our country. My parting shot is that as we seek this unity, as we seek to come together to speak in one voice, we have to explore other opportunities that will bring us together. Forums like this is one. Another thing, getting to know each other outside here, speaking to each other on the phone, in the text, in the audios, it's easier to come together and be united in one as one when you know each other than when you're completely unknown and you only come together when you have one agenda in common. There needs to be more. There needs to be that rapport between us, you know, where we know each other. That way, we won't be questioning each other's agenda. We won't having this distrust, and we won't be bought with 30 pieces of silver by the cat when the rats are going to negotiate with the cat. So there is importance for us to get united outside forums like this and to start building friendships and rapport and getting to know each other. That is one way in which organically we start having that one voice. I wish you all a happy new year. 2021 is going to be a blessed year, and we are going to finish everything that we start, including starting this journey of developing our country. Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheila. Okay, I'll go to Anthony. Anthony, please.
Thank you very much for allowing me to be in this panel today. I missed it. It has been awesome and great. My only few remarks I would love to say is that if it's possible, with your permission, I normally call you my vice chair on another meeting that we are together. If we can come up maybe like in a WhatsApp group among the panelists, that's number one, whereby we can be able to communicate some other thoughts together as a way forward. And also, if possible, we normally say that time does not waste. Time does not wait for anyone. So I would think if we can team up together, because I've seen this meeting going on, even when John Akanyaru is here, sometimes I could watch and see what's happening. Let's come up with a collective way. If we can have, for example, a chair lady for this function, we know we have a chair, we have a secretary who is well done, we have a treasurer who is maybe from Kenya or something. We come up with something collectively, and let's use that as our guidance to try to put ourselves together. And I'm double sure we can be able to request for a meeting with the president, knowing this is our leader, this is whoever. However, we know we are all collectively. We've got Congress inside us, we've got vision inside us, we've got all those umbrellas in us. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Okay, I'll go to Ken, please, our governor.
Thank you, Lydia. I feel that the incoming governor did not get enough time to present his points. So I need to get one more minute compared to everyone else to put forward a few points. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for this forum. I wanted to mention something about investments. As a finance coach, and as a finance coach who is focused on building the Black wealth and helping Africans understand finance from an African perspective and not from a Western perspective. The financial advice we've received so far is so Western, but I'm trying to make it relatable to our situation, because again, when you're talking to someone from Kenya, for example, you want to talk to them about income, not just their assets and their net worth, but also their income. So this is something that's very important to mention. And some people in the comment section are very aware of this, and they spoke about it. Carolina Denya is one of them, and Marianne. So these two people, Carolina talk about investing back at home. Now, I wanted to say one thing. If you want to successfully invest back at home, we cannot use the same strategies that have been used and they have failed before. We cannot keep on sending money to families to help us invest. Like Dr. Lucy said, we have to come up with new ways of investing. The world has become so technologically savvy that you cannot rely on the old ways of doing things. If you are going to invest, think of other strategies of investing. We brought up to think of land and buildings as the only investments. There are so many other investments you can make when you're abroad, and you do not have to involve anybody except technology and the markets. There are stocks, there are bonds, there are money market funds, there are circles that someone has spoken about. There are so many avenues for investing. So let us try to diversify our mindsets when it comes to investing back at home. Let's not think of building homes in the rural areas. Let's not think of buying land in Kajiado and all. That also can be part of it. But if we are having issues with that, let's come up with a new strategy in which we can remit back money home and also benefit as a people so that our money is not lost in the process. So that's very important. And I thank Caroline for bringing that up. Something that's also very important, if you want to build wealth, we must own. There's no way we're going to build wealth without owning. Somebody spoke about even owning banks. I'm hoping to own an investment fund in the near future, We must own things. We can't rely on these investment funds that are run by other people. Right now, if you go to Kenya and you want a proper investment fund, it's run by people who are not even Kenyans. If you want a proper investment vehicle that can give you good returns, it's run internationally. We have the Vanguard, we have the Schwabs, we have some of these big banks. Why can't we have a bank if we can remit 280 billion shillings back at home? Why can't we have a bank that serves the diaspora interests? If you're exchanging money right now, you have to focus on the market rates. But if we had our own banks, then we had a way of transmitting money in a way that we can negotiate and make it much cheaper for us. So we must think of owning things. We must think of owning all these assets. If we are sending money back at home so much, why don't we own the platforms that send the money back at home? Why are we using World Remit? I'm sure we have people who know about tech here in the group, or even within the Kenyans here. We have people with finance backgrounds. We have people with legal backgrounds. We have people with international law backgrounds. Why don't we own those platforms that are used to take money back at home? Why do we need to negotiate with some people to lower their rates for us? We have the brains. So that's another important point. So just to finish up, back on politics, I believe that we can make this work. I believe that we can change things, like Weldon said. And I believe that we can transform things to focus so much on what we want and not what somebody wants. I believe that we can come up with a proper grassroots support system. Because right now, if we are speaking, somebody will basically ignore us because they feel we don't have the political capital. But how do people form political capitals? If you read the story of Barack Obama, Promised Land, he formed political capital from nothing. People looked at him like a crazy person when he was going for office. He started from the grassroots. And then I look at people like Alexandria Cortez, who is now very famous in the US. How did she start? She knocked each and every door without being known. She was a waitress just before she got into Congress. She knocked each and every door, told them what plan she had for them, and they elected her. Right now, she's doing exactly what she was elected to do. So we should not worry about the clout we have now. We should worry about where we are going to, the goal, the intention, the outcome. That's what we should worry about. Right now, people may write us off as diasporans because we've never spoken in one voice. But if we start with one step today, I'm sure we're going to get to our goal. So last point, thank you so much to the panel. Thank you, Funke. It was a pleasure talking to you. I hope one day to see you in Kibra as we change things on the ground. Thanks to every single person. Well done. Thank you for being so fast with this idea and making things work so fast. Lydia, again, you always make these forums work for us. This is not the first time. I appreciate you trying to bring us on, make us visible, and give us platforms where we can actually voice our opinions so openly like this. I appreciate that. Thanks to all the panelists, and I hope to see you soon and talk to all of you in a few. Dr. Lucy, Sheila, Bernard, I hope to speak to you on a different forum apart from this one. Otherwise, I'm grateful. And like last point, if you want financial guidance, investment guidance, please feel free to approach me anytime on WhatsApp. I've also shared my YouTube channel, Ken's Money Matters. I discuss a lot of things there. So with all that, I say thank you and have a happy new year.
Thank you very much, Governor. You are blessed. You had more than 2 minutes, by the way. Okay, yes, so next is Weldon. Weldon, you have 30 seconds actually, because you took a lot of your time before.
Okay, so I would say my message to all the Kenyans in diaspora is it's been competition and not collaboration. It's been individualism and not teamwork. It's been dormancy and not participation. And it's always been us observing things what's going on home and not actually us participating. And now it's our time to do something because we are here to make a stand. There is always time for everything. And we say enough is enough. And we have to make a point because we, as we said, we have the economic strength and we can make a difference. I challenge the diaspora in the US and diaspora in the UK because that's where the Kenyans majority are, to please unite yourselves in the Umbrella Association and make sure that you have one voice that is officially in correspondence with the diaspora, to the mission in the US and mission in the UK. That is the Kenya Embassy and the High Commission, so that we can move forward together. Once you have an official voice, like the way we have in France, I know you have so many Kenyans in the UK and the US. That's why I specifically say US and the UK, so that if each and every country can do this in next year, 2021, we can have all these positions recognized by the government representative in each country. That is how we can move forward. That's when we can bring all the bodies together and say, now we can talk and reach to the National Diaspora Council, which is actually based in Kenya, and it's supposed to be based in abroad. I don't understand why it's in Kenya. So I challenge the Kenyans in France, in the US and the UK to do the same. Lastly, Funge is one of the Kenyans, the non-Kenyans in the diaspora of Kenyans. I want to encourage others to bring the non-Kenyans into the diaspora, because Funge is now the strength. She is the Harvard graduate, the smartest, and she is now an asset to the Kenyan community. All the Kenyans, like Ken, wherever you are, you can bring. If you're not married, get other Nigerians from Harvard. But we should, Funge should never take our daughters or sisters to Nigeria.
Okay, I'll stop you there. I'll stop you there. Don't start. It's all right. Go on.
So thank you very much.
Tell them I have taken even you to Nigeria. Have you noticed I'm not in Nigeria these days?
I'm in Nigeria.
Yeah. We need the daughters of Nigeria, but we don't need to send our daughters there.
Okay.
So yeah, to end, I want to wish, on behalf of all the Kenyans in France, I want to wish all the Kenyans in diaspora, in the French language, we say, Joyeux Noël, Bonne année. That is to say, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we hope that Lydia and the team will bring us better things, better goodies when it comes to the 2021. And I wish you a year, actually, a year which is not the same year as 2020, because guys, it's been hell. But if you're alive today, I thank you, and you should thank your God. Thank you very much. Back to you, Lydia.
Thank you very much. So now I'll go to Bernard. 1 minute, Bernard, please.
Oh, please, Lydia, I have to ask for more. These guys have scored like 10, 20 minutes.
Oh, no, we're out of time, totally.
I'm a politician. So, all right. Let me start with what Ken said. He said, if we want to transfer money, why can't we own those platforms? Why can't we own those banks? I also now take the same question and say, where do diasporians fail when it comes to politics? Nominations, because nobody knows you back home. So you are not even nominated to be on the ballot in the final election. And that's where now we are saying, why don't we own our own party, at least to guarantee that first level, which is the nomination. We all join CPD. Let's take this. One Voice Consortium is representing everybody. Why don't we say we also have our own political party now, which we can all use, at least to guarantee our nominations? Because without nomination in Kenyan politics, you can't go anywhere. The most brilliant people I've seen who could have changed that country never got beyond the nominations. I'm saying this, I've got 3 messages now. One for diaspora, we need unity and we need to support the Congress for People's Democracy. This is our party. This is the only party that will guarantee you that nomination, Ken, where you know that nobody is going to bribe 200 shillings or whatever they bribe. You will get your nomination to be in the ballot box. From there, it's up to you now to sell, but at least you'll be in the ballot. And that's what I'm offering today. The other thing is, the other message, so to diaspora, unity, and let's all join CPD and support it as our vehicle to the elections in 2022. To the Kenyans, we love you. We are part of you. Stop calling us Maju. We are not Maju. We are still the same people. And when we have problems, listen to us. During the COVID, I needed to say something about Nigeria. I'm sorry, Lydia, but Nigerian embassy, the ambassador actually stormed into the Chinese High Commission and said, stop what you are doing to our people. And they say, what are we doing? You are harassing our people and we are not going to take it. To be honest with you, the Kenyan government did not do as much, and I'm very grateful. And all diasporians, it went viral. When this high commission official from Nigeria went there and said, stop it. You are harassing our people. You do that, we are going to do the same to your people. That's the language we want people to speak, not to just have people being kicked out of their rooms and being mistreated. That's the kind of leadership we are looking for. And when I heard there's a Nigerian here, please take that to Nigeria and say, we are grateful and we need that kind of leadership in Africa. We cannot just take it lying down. To the Kenyan government, I'm saying, and I've said, personally, I've benefited a lot from government services. And I'm saying, we want true partnership. We don't want the cat and rat kind of relationship. We want a true partnership. Diaspora is ready to work with the government of the day. We remit a lot of money, but we want to be equal partners in development of the country. We don't want to be subordinates. So when we are asking for the 48th county, for a Ministry of Affairs, when we're asking for a diaspora desk, we want to be equal partners in development of our country, and we shall deliver. Thank you.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bernard, for that. Okay, so as we close, I'll just say thank you very, very much, Funke, for accepting the invitation. And thank you very much, Anthony, as well, for accepting our invitation. Thank you very much, Dr. Lucy, for accepting our invitation. Thank you very much, Sheila, for accepting our invitation. Thank you very much, Bernard, for accepting our invitation. Thank you very much, Ken, for our governor, for accepting our invitation. You know, they always say the tongue has the power of life and death. So I think now, as we speak positivity, as we speak our governor, we speak forth you winning. So, and we see change. But, and thank you very much, Weldon. I forgot to say Weldon because he's always part of us. So if I forget your name, Weldon, don't get angry with me because you're part of this all the times. I forget to call you. But I would really like Dr. Lucy to, if you go on Facebook, Dr. Lucy, thank you as well, because I've seen you answering. I've also seen Funke saying something. So thank you. But there's somebody called Gitau Kinungi. He actually spoke about, we are talking of diaspora going to Kenya, and we won 48th county and all that, but we have a lot of MPs who are from diaspora already. What change have they done? What have they done? Now we're talking of One Voice Consortium. So Lucy, I really appreciate if you go there and answer that question, because we don't have time to answer that, but I want him to feel like we're actually taking his question seriously, which we are. And I just like one thing to say was somebody say, better to try and fail than to fail to try. So I like that from somebody here. I like that. So yes, and I can see Weldon as well, who's trying to respond to Gitau. So thank you very much, everybody. And the ones that are watching us on Facebook, please, I would like you, somebody have told me they've shared 6 times. So thank you very much for sharing, but you can still share, because the good thing with this is not just for today. If somebody missed it, they can actually watch it another day. So please share, and share. And I'll say thank you very much.
Before we go, please, just a special one. I want to thank all the CPD members who tuned in. I can see you, Paul Saitoti and the rest. Thank you very much for tuning in. And this is a great thing for our party. Thank you.
Okay, and I can thank you. And if you all panelists, please can put your details on Facebook, because if you put it here on the chat, it doesn't really help. So put it on Facebook, every single person, so people can actually get in touch with you, because I saw people asking, what's your Facebook page? What's this person's page? So write it down there so everybody can see it, please, on Facebook. Okay, thank you very much. Weldon, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to tell Gitau Kinungi that we are talking about the role of diaspora in the national government in Kenya. Well, I agree with him that we are supposed also to be focused on what the Kenyan government can help the Kenyans in diaspora do better. And it's one of the things that we will be talking in future, to see that when Kenyan government is coming abroad, the president is not only coming, the president and his entourage is not only coming to abroad to ask for loan to develop Kenya, but to also negotiate so that on how the Kenyans in abroad can do business with governments here, or to negotiate for students, you see, so that the students can have different privileges or the scholarships and all these things. So we also think that the foreign direct investment can happen here for Kenyans. We are not like the Chinese who have the finances to go to Africa and implement the foreign direct investment, but through the diaspora, the Kenya and other African countries can negotiate for Kenyans abroad so that we can invest and build here in diaspora. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you very much, everybody. Terry Simon actually says she doesn't really share on her page a lot, but this time she's going to share because it was so educational. And a lot of people are saying they're really, it's transformation, inspiration, motivation, and education as well. So thank you very much, my panelists, because personally, I just gave a forum and you guys gave all you have. So thank you so, so much. Without further ado, I'll say thank you very much. I love you, and I'll see you tomorrow, same time. Do not go away. Thank you very much. My panelists, please wait. And everybody else, thank you. Until tomorrow, asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
At World Remit, we understand what the journey is about. How it can sometimes take a little distance to bring us a little closer together. With ways to save more when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.